Good morning, bread buddies. How are we doing? How's your week been? Let me know in the comments what your peak of the week has been. Still got a very broody chicken here. I feel like I need to really start doing something about this because she is now, you know, last week I was saying, oh, she's not like aggressive. She isn't aggressive, but she's starting to getting a little bit hostile now. So I do feel like we maybe need to see if we can do something about this. I don't know what to do. Like I say, if it is the dunking water thing, I'm really worried about doing that now because it is cold, it is frosty, it's like in the minuses in the morning, which I'm not mad about. I actually really love this kind of weather. I think it's really like romantic, you know? But I really hope she'll be able to get herself in gear very soon because, like I say, I'm starting to become a little bit worried about her. And with our long trip as well that we're doing, we've got someone coming to house sit, so they'll be looked after completely fine, but I am going to have to brief that person on the fact that, you know, you're going to have to get her out of the coop each morning and make sure she's eaten and make sure she's actually socialising, things like that. It's like having a child. But it is such a beautiful day today, and I'm quite proud of myself because I was lying in bed this morning. This doesn't happen very often in that I was in bed alone. Lawrence has been sleeping in the spare bedroom for 2 nights now. We haven't had an argument or anything like that, but he's been ill, and we made a decision a couple of years ago when I had a really horrific cold, one where I was like basically hacking up my guts like in the night. It was not nice, and at like 2 a.m. that time, Lawrence got up, left the bedroom, went and slept in the spare bedroom. And my dad has always been very like drilled into me about, you know, you don't sleep in separate beds as a couple, and obviously if you're to have an argument, I do really agree with that. And because that was drilled into my head so much growing up, and even as an adult now, we'll have conversations about that now, about being partners and the rules of sleeping in different beds and all those kind of things. And I was so against it. And even like when we have an argument, I'm just like, absolutely not, we're not going to sleep in separate bedrooms, that's ridiculous. However, that one time, was it like 2 years ago, when I was really sick and he did get up and go into the spare bedroom, we both ended up having a really good night's sleep. And as much as I hate to say it, I do think when you're really ill, especially with a cough or something that's keeping you up at night, and then all the little tics that your partner does like in their sleep, for me, apparently it's snoring, and I make this like clicking sound apparently. I don't really understand what it is. Maybe it's like my tongue hitting the roof of my mouth or something like that. But the little tics that normally they wouldn't hear, they hear constantly, and they get into their own head and they can't sleep, and then it goes into this vicious cycle. And Lawrence was like, I'm just going to go sleep in the spare bedroom and get a decent night's sleep, and then also I can then be free to, when I wake up at 2-3 a.m. needing to really cough, I can go for it without having to worry about waking up the person next to me. So that's a long rooted way of telling you that for the last couple of nights Lawrence has been ill, so he's been sleeping in the spare bedroom so that he can get a good night's sleep, I can get a good night's sleep, and we don't irritate each other. But because of that, I'm an early riser, Lawrence is, which is half the reason why I was starting the vlog outside, so I can have a talk with you guys without waking him up. We're in a bungalow, so it's one of those things that I can't really vlog or do any content whilst he's asleep, because no matter where I am in the house really, you'll be able to hear me talking. So that's why we're outside. Oh my god, I've gone on loads of different tangents here. Where was I at? So he slept in the spare bedroom. I got up early, so I'm an early riser. I was up early, but actually way earlier than I normally am. I normally wake up at like 6, 7. I know some of you with kids will be like, that's a lion, but yeah, I wake up at around like 7 o'clock, let's say. But this morning I was up at 5, and I have the mindset of when I wake up at like 5 a.m, I just get up. I don't bother faffing around. But again, because of like the sunlight and because of Lawrence being in the other room, I wasn't able to actually really do any content. So I decided to do a little bit of work in bed, and I put our blind up, and it was still pitch black outside, and I saw what I think was Mars. I saw Mars, and it was so bright, so red, and I just thought, I bet you today is going to be a really beautiful sunny day, because in my mind I was going, the sun rises in the east, so surely if it's like really bright and red, it's going to be reflecting from the sun, which means it's a really clear day. And also the fact that you can even see it means that it'll be like really clear in the sky, right? So I was lying in bed at 5 a.m. going, I really hope I'm right about this. And I feel like I have been. And then I looked on the weather app and yeah, it's supposed to be like bright sun all day. But what a ramble about the weather. God. But yeah, it should be a really beautiful day, and it's just one of those lovely winter autumnal, everything feels fresh. It doesn't actually feel that cold because the air is so clear and still, which I'm loving, but it's still cold. So we're gonna get inside and make a little bit of breakfast. I've got some mushrooms that really need to be used up. You know, when they start to go a little bit slimy, I always find that with flathead ones, that the surface tends to go a little bit slimy. So I'm probably gonna cook those with a little bit of garlic butter. I also have some purple sprouting broccoli and some Stilton. So I'm probably gonna do an omelette and roast the broccoli in the air fryer with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, maybe a little bit of chili flakes, and then have that with a Stilton omelette and some sauteed mushrooms as well. But I've just had a delivery. I was sent a few weeks back, you might remember, the turkey box, the turkey Christmas box by Cote, and they've said if I wanted to try their New Year's Eve box, which is a steak box. And I will never turn down being sent a steak at all. I'm hoping, and I think it is, it's one of those on the bone ones. And Lawrence and I are planning on having that as a little home date night tonight, which I'm really excited for. I'm really enjoying all of the Cote kits actually. I've been trying quite a few of them and posting my thoughts of them over on Instagram on stories. And I think, you know, if you want experience, I said this before on the last vlog where we got the Cote delivery, if you want that kind of HelloFresh ease for a date night at home, I do really recommend them. I think they're really good, and I think they're really well priced as well. I think this one's around £80 or something like that. The Christmas one, that was very good value. That was £160, feeds 4 people, but I would say a generous 4 people. You've got a massive turkey breast, 2 loads of parsnips, carrots, potatoes, pigs in blankets, Brussels with bacon. My only thing is that it didn't come with stuffing, and I think that is needed when you have any kind of roast, especially a Christmas roast, you know. It comes with dessert as well, which is really fun. I've had their normal version of this, which is is it normal, or I've just had one of their versions of this before where it's like a plum financier, is that how you say them? They're essentially like a baked custardy dessert, really nice, and that's come with some vanilla creme fraiche and some cherry compote, which really, that'll be a delicious dessert. Really, really excited to have those. And then what have we got with this? So we've got French beans, which, okay, fine. Like, I could leave or take that. I think that's a little bit, whatever. Oh, it's like a starter kit as well. I didn't realise it comes with a starter. So we've got a beetroot smoked salmon. That looks lovely, look at that. With a baguette. Is it just that? Let's see on the little pamphlet that comes with it. Yeah, so we've got the New Year's Eve box here. So we've got beetroot cured smoked salmon. Oh, so it is literally, it's the smoked salmon with the baguette. And then you have the Cote Boeuf and chocolate financier. Financier. I'm not sure, maybe the starter could do with something else if they had put something like a fennel like salad with it. Something to have with it might be quite interesting, because I think just a baguette and salmon, a little bit strange. Would you have that in a restaurant? Probably not. I feel like there needs to be something else for the starter essentially. But then we've got some dauphinoise potatoes. Love a dauphinoise potato. And then this is the steak. We'll have to cook that later and see what that's like. Sorry, trigger warning there if you're not a fan of meat. Oh, and it also comes with a truffle jus as well, which looks quite nice. So we'll have that for dinner later, which I'm very excited about. And something that's really fun with Cote as well is that I was emailing them about the fact that I'd done a load of recipes using their turkey kit that they sent me. And we're actually going to start working together on not developing recipes, they want some of the recipes that I've created. And you know when you get a bill in a restaurant and it comes on a tray, a bill tray, they wanted to start creating some recipe cards to go on bill trays for people to get inspiration of things that they can do with their leftovers over the Christmas period. So they said, can we work together to use some of your recipes? So I'm really excited for that. It's all happening, and if you're in a Cote restaurant and you get your bill, hopefully you'll see, because they want the people to be able to collect them. So it's going to be my recipes, but I think their head chef is also developing some as well. So fingers crossed, if you go to a Cote restaurant and you get your bill, you'll be able to see one of my recipes, and it'll have my name and stuff on it as well. It'll be like in collaboration with Toast with Hope. So I'm really, and I just love the concept as well. I love the fact that they're wanting to do, first of all, recipe cards. You know me and recipe cards. I love them so much, and collecting them, things like that. If I had that in a restaurant, I'd be so happy. And two of the recipes that I've shared with them are really good ones, really outside of the box ones. I'm very excited for those to go live. And I just think it's a really lovely way to encourage people in a restaurant setting to reduce their food waste as well. And I said to them, I would love to do this on a more ongoing basis where we maybe think of some recipes. Well, if you tell me things that people typically take away from a restaurant, and I can then create some recipes of that. And you guys are like, what do you ever do that? Do you ever have leftovers at a restaurant? So do you ever get a big portion and you want to take that home, but you don't know what to do with it, or you think it will just sit in your fridge? Does that ever happen? Do you ever want to take restaurant leftovers away? And if you do, like, what is the main thing that you typically always end up taking away? Is there one thing, like, you always end up with a load of like cabbage and French fries, or do you always end up with a little bit of leftover steak? What is that one or couple of things that normally ends up in the takeaway boxes for you? Because I really want to start working on things with them where we can help people past just their restaurant and dining experience, really make the most of their meal. So I'm very excited about that concept. Okay, breakfast. So tender stem broccoli. I'm just going to chop the stalks a touch, cut this bit in half, drizzle that with a little bit of olive oil, and then a little bit of salt. We've just got this big blend. I think I've talked about this before. I've been sent loads of different salts before, and we just accumulated them all into one big one because there are just so many similar flavours that we just thought, okay, let's just make a spice blend salt. So that's what we've got on there. I think that's all I'll put on that for now. I'm going to put hash brown in as well, and then we'll put that in the air fryer for, actually the broccoli might not need very long, so I'll check on it after 10 minutes, but the hash brown probably needs 15, 20. Mushrooms, I'm literally just going to finely chop up and then throw in a pan with a little bit of, I've got some of the Kerrygold garlic butter. I think it's garlic and herb. I'm going to chuck it in the pan with that. I'm going to cook both of these because then I'll be able to have them for breakfast tomorrow. Like I say, they're a little bit on the turn, so they could do with being used up and cooked, even if I don't eat them both today. That's the butter that I'm going to use. Just going to chuck a knob of that in the pan and then cook these down for a little bit. Then we can do an omelette. grey outfit today. I don't know why I've gone for this all black look, but I quite like it. I've got this H&M men's jumper that I found in the men's sale. I'll link a similar one below because I have looked and it is all sold out now. An old mango jacket. I kind of want to get another one like this that's actually lined, because we are getting into a point now where this is almost like trench coat. It could be thicker. With layers it's fine, but now we're getting into super cold weather. I need a thicker kind of version of this. Old Arquette bag, but I feel like they do this still, and probably in various different colours. My trusty Brandon Carhartt jeans. I've got like 5 layers on right now. So I've got the jumper on, I've got a t-shirt underneath this, then underneath the t-shirt I've got a thermal, and then underneath the jeans I've got some thick thermal leggings on, and then these FitFlop loafers. You may have seen on Instagram and TikTok, I made an advent calendar from one that you can get in Hobbycraft. It's like a little wooden one. I'll link the video below. I think I also uploaded it to YouTube Shorts. I'm so happy with it. I basically use loads of wallpaper samples. This one isn't actually a wallpaper sample. This is from our Freddie's Flowers delivery. When you get your Freddie's Flowers, there comes a sheet of paper that explains what all the flowers are and how they suggest that you arrange them. And on the reverse of it, there's normally this really beautiful print. And there was that one, and I was like, oh, this is so nice, I'm gonna have to keep this. It's just a shame that it's slightly too small to then use for something else. I can imagine it'd be so good to use as like wrapping paper. I'm trying to think of ways that I can use them besides just this, because some of the designs are so beautiful, and I know that they work with quite an independent artist to do all of them. So it'd be really nice if I could find another use for them. But for now, I used it for this. So I want to pop in to the centre to find some things to fit in all of these little drawers. I think I'll pop to like Space NK. There's a couple of samples of things that I've wanted to be trying for a while now. So I'm just going to have a little bit of Potter. I've got a few returns that I need to do as well, and a few orders I need to pick up. So let's head on out. Trying on a few bits in H&M, and this, I love this flannel so much. There's one that I got in George Asda the other day as well, which is really good, but this one, really good fabric, nice weight to it. Love it. I really like this as well for a little bit of a pop of colour. I don't know if the medium is slightly too big. They don't have it in a small, but the colour of this I really love. This is very fun. I like this a lot for a little festive outfit idea. The only thing I don't like is that it's not quite tight enough so that this bit droops a little bit. I kind of want it to be a full straight line. Really cool and fun. Good festive Christmas party idea. And they do have it in like this beautiful green as well as black. It's nice to have a festive-y outfit option that's not red, white or black too. Advent check-in for you. I have secured some good things, and I had a bunch of vouchers to use up anyway, so I'm not ending up spending anything, which is amazing. And I thought I'm actually going to hold off showing you guys some of the things, because we can do this in Vlogmas, where I'll show you in each of the drawers what I've got, and also then it'll be a bit of a reminder and a surprise for me as well, because I've been collecting things for the past 4 weeks now to fill up the little drawers. I did consider saying to Lawrence, why don't you fill them up for me? But I just know that he would stress out about it. He would have no idea what to get. And I'd rather do this as a treat for me. Things that I have wanted to get, little knickknacks, little things that are going to be really good for our trip to Southeast Asia. Yeah, I thought I'll treat myself. I'm really excited to start going through them all. Back home, and we were going to have the Cote steak box for dinner tonight, but Lawrence was just saying that he's got quite a bit of work that he needs to crack on with, and he would rather save it for tomorrow night, where we can actually sit down and appreciate it a little bit more. So he's gone out to get fish and chips. We never get fish and chips, but I kind of like suggested it. I know that when he's feeling a bit down, not down, I mean he's just a little bit stressed today, but he's a man of simple pleasures. He loves a Savoy. So I was like, do you want to get fish and chips and you can have a Savoy and that'll make you feel better? So I'm gonna get my comfies on, and he's popped out now. What's your fish and chips order, by the way? I'm always very intrigued. We always get a large fish to share and a large chips to share. We always say an offensive amount of salt and vinegar. However, they never really do an offensive amount. I want it to be like really salty and vinegary. Lawrence gets a Savoy, and then I get a smooth sausage and then curry sauce on the side. That's our order. Let me know what yours is, because I'm always very nosy about fish and chips orders. was about to start breakfast, but before I do, I actually need to bake something relatively quickly. I'm going to an event later on with Mads, Christmas Dip, if you follow her on TikTok, on Instagram. She's doing a supper club tonight that she's invited me to. So excited. I went to one of these back in, I think it was September, like her trial one that she did. It was so good. The venue was amazing, and this one is going to be at a really great restaurant that I've not been to yet called Jusu Brothers, Notting Hill Way. So I need to get baking something for her ASAP. You guys know I can't go somewhere to an event without taking something with me to say thank you to the people that put it on. It's so much work, and also she's recently hit 600k on TikTok. I did have an idea to make donuts. I've got a recipe here that I don't know if I've shared this before on TikTok. If I have, I will post the link below. Essentially, I got up too late. I had a bit of a lazy morning, and now I don't have enough time because it's quite cold. I don't have enough time for the dough to prove in time. So instead, I thought I could do a Guinness cake for her. And I just thought that's probably a really nice option. I can put it in a little like loaf cake box and then use some sprinkles over the top of a mold. I've got some number molds, and do 600 in sprinkles on top of a chocolate frosted Guinness cake. So I need to get that on now so that it has enough time to cool before I frost it. I think it's always one of those things that I always forget about when making cakes that need to be decorated. We need 250 grams. It's always unsalted, but I always have just salted. So I'm gonna go in with salted butter. We need to add in some Guinness. 262, that's fine. And then 250 ml of Guinness. And then I'm just gonna put that on the heat to melt the butter. I always default using the KitchenAid just because it's so easy. I get really lazy and I will always use the KitchenAid if I can over mixing something by hand. Okay, so I'm going to botch this recipe just a tiny bit because I don't have some things. And also when I read some methods, I go, I don't need to do it in that way. It'll be fine if I do it in a different way. It'll turn out fine. So I need to put in the sour cream and the eggs. I don't have any sour cream, but I do have some leftover vanilla creme fraiche from the Cote kit. We had that the other night actually, and it was good. There are a few things that I think I would give constructive feedback on. The smoked salmon in the starter was so good. I'm gonna email them actually and ask them where they got that from, because that for Christmas on bellinis would be phenomenal. Really, really enjoyed that. And also the dessert was really, really good. That chocolate financier, I think they're called, which is essentially like a chocolate sponge pot, and my go-to dessert, if it's ever on a menu, is like a chocolate fondant, or like a molten cake. So it was kind of that vibe. So I really liked the starter and the dessert, although the starter was a little bit confused. It was a baguette with horseradish cream, which was quite runny, quite liquidy, and the smoked salmon. So I didn't really understand how they expected that to be plated up by someone. I think the starter should have had the baguette subbed out and had some like big bellinis instead. And with the main, the steak was really good. It was a really good cut of meats, really good quality. The potatoes and the green beans, they were nice, but I do feel like if I'm going to have a kit like that, I want them to be a little bit more different. When we did the Christmas kit, the parsnips were like miso parsnips, the carrots were in this honey mustard sauce. So I just feel like they should have done something a little bit more different. And actually, I think what they should have done is, instead of dauphinoise, it should have been chunky duck fat chips with their Christmas salts that they gave us with the kit. And then I think they should have done some sort of tender stem broccoli green bean with a maybe chili and anchovy butter that you mix in together. That'd be my suggestion to them if they're watching. But it was a nice thing. I think if you like those kind of, like I said before, HelloFresh boxes, you want a nice date night dish, I would recommend. I'll link it below. But yeah, there are a few little things that I'd probably do differently if I was creating that. But we have it left over. So we have the creme fraiche vanilla. Let's do 150 ml of combination of, I've got this creme fraiche and I also have some buttermilk, which are probably both a bit too liquidy for what we're doing, but it should be okay. 2 large eggs into that. And a splash of vanilla. Give that all a mix. 400 grams of caster sugar into this and 75 grams of cocoa powder. Give that a mix. Then I'm going to add in that melted butter and Guinness. So we need 275 grams of plain flour and some bicarb soda. 280, that would be fine, and 2.5 teaspoons of bicarb soda. And then I think that's it. Give that a mix. I'm going to put this into a loaf tin, I think, because I do want it to be in a rectangle, so I can do the 600 over the top like that. I think that would be nice. I think giving someone at a supper club a whole cake might be a bit strange and a bit like, okay, thanks for giving me a whole cake. Although actually I'd never say no to receiving a whole cake. But a loaf cake, I feel like that's completely acceptable to just give someone. This is definitely going to need to be spread over 2 loaf tins. So pour this in. I have a feeling this is going to be a 45-minute bake at like 180. That's what I'm going to guess without looking at the recipe. I will look at the recipe before I put it in. Oven's preheated at 180. 180, oh, 160 fan, okay. 160 fan for 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, that's in. Now I can do breakfast. I went to IKEA yesterday specifically to get these because we have some avocado and smoked salmon to that classic thing, isn't it? I've got a couple of things to use up, so I'm going to go out and buy some more things to make something to use the thing up. I don't normally do that. I do normally just go, yeah, I can work with what I've got in the fridge, but you know, like when you just crave something, and I always have hash browns in the freezer for breakfast like this. I just really was craving a rosti. So I went to IKEA. I did need to pick up an order as well. That's how I justified it, that I needed to pick up an order, and it was around the corner from IKEA, so I may as well have picked up these. So what I'm thinking of doing is these potato pancakes with some of the, this is the salmon that I was saying about from Cote. It's just, I'm gonna even have to like double check with Lawrence if it's okay if I finish this up, because it's so good and it's so thick as well. You know when smoked salmon can be really, this is going to sound like a weird thing to say because of course it's going to be like this, when it can be really fishy. Sometimes it's just not enjoyable because it just tastes a little bit too, yeah, fishy. This isn't like that at all. I'm really going to have to ask them where their supplier is for that. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to cook these potato cakes, chop up the last of the salmon and cubes of the avocado, and then just pile them on top with some kimchi and have that for breakfast. Have now passed. I've been working on a few bits like editing, but also another gift guide. I posted one the other night and had so much good feedback about it. It was actually a gift guide. I'll link them all below because I did a substack about it as well, and I'll probably post them on the Instagram grid tomorrow or the day after. I had such good feedback, and it was all stuff that we already own. I was really specific that I wanted to do a gift guide, tried and tested products. We love them, and you know, therefore like you guys would probably enjoy them too. And because I've now done that, I kind of want to now do another one of other ideas, mostly of things that I want to get for my family. I've just been working on that now because I don't know about you guys, I see all of these gift guides where it's like under £25, under £50, or for the girl, for the male, and I actually think it'd be quite handy to see gift guides that were specific for certain family members. I find it really difficult for my gran, is always a really difficult one to buy for because she's always like, oh, I don't want or need anything and I don't want you to spend your money on anything. They're happy with the cheaper, cheerful things. So one for gran One for like the dads as well. There are a few things that I've got for my dad, and also stuff that, it's gonna sound really bad, that Lawrence has put on his Christmas list that I know my dad will really enjoy as well. So a few of those things. And also when I got a load of gifting from M&S for the Tom Kerridge range, I gave a couple of bits to my dad as well. And when I went round to his the other week for dinner, he was wearing the apron that I got him. He was using some of the utensils that I gave him. So I just know certain things he has really enjoyed that I've given him. Oh, that's another idea actually, because I gave him something that Hexclad sent me, so maybe I should put that on the list as well. What else? One for the mother figure. I feel like a lot of us have either a mum, obviously, or a mother figure in our lives, and especially a very like chic one. And what else? One for like little ones, really little ones. I'm talking about like 2, 3, 4-year-olds. Because I think with those ones, you're mostly buying for the parent, right? You're not buying for the child. It's a chance for you to find like the really cute clothes, the really fun wooden play sets that they probably wouldn't buy themselves. So one for the little ones. And then the final one for the Gen Z teenagers. I've got a nephew who is, I think he's 14 now, maybe 15. I think these are all kind of things that he would really enjoy, but I'm trying to keep that one also like gender neutral. So I'm working on a secondary gift guide to go out, which is specific to those 5 audiences. And let me know if there's any other, if you like the gift guides, first of all, and if there's any other ones that you would like to see, because I really enjoy putting them together. I will sit there for hours scouring the internet, thinking of things. I just keep my eyes open all the time. I'm quite wary whenever I see people using things as to, I think that's quite a useful thing that they really enjoy being gifted. So let me know. I feel like with that one, I feel like I've got bases covered. I do have one more plan for one final stint of gift guides to go out, which will go closer to Christmas and are more of a last minute dash one. So things that you can get in pretty much any supermarket or shopping centre, as well as like food hampers that you can take to people's homes, host gifts. So there will be a final one, probably like a week before Christmas, that I'll post out, which is essentially if you've left something to the very last minute, you can't guarantee postage, you want to basically go to M&S and know that you're going to be able to find that thing or something like it. That's another idea that I'm going to be doing closer to Christmas. Let me know if there's anything else. So I've been working on that just now, and the cakes are all done. They look great. I was going to level them out, but I don't think it's needed. I've got a little box here, although these ones aren't very good. I use these ones all the time of a different size from Amazon, but these ones don't seem to be holding their shape as much as the other ones that I have. I might have to take them together. But my plan is, I was going to cut it open and frost in the inside, but I think I'm just going to frost the top of it, place those numbers on top so I can then sprinkle the sprinkles to create that 600. I'm gonna have to tape this. I might even send this back, and I mean, can you send them back when you've used one and gone, this is not good quality? I have some of this just shop bought frosting, so I'm just gonna spoon that all over the top. I feel like I put a lot more thought into some other things besides this one. It feels like a real last minute thought. But I guess it's still the thought that counts, right? And then these are the cutters that I got. So we should be able to do 006. It'll be a bit of a squeeze. Oh, could have had a little bit more control of it, but that's fine. It's a bit heavy-handed on that one. I bet I'm gonna like travel this all the way to Notting Hill, and all of these sprinkles are gonna redistribute. I should have done a really thin layer and just built it up gradually and pressed it really in. That was pretty good. I think that looks cute. She'll be happy with that, I think. Okay, I have 20 minutes until I need to leave to head into London. I'm just gonna like do a top up of my makeup. I've actually picked up a few things. You might know about it if you've seen my Instagram stories. Boots do this thing called £10 Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, they discount a load of their products to £10. Some of the stuff is phenomenal, like really good value. I picked up a few things in this one. One of them's in the fridge. we'll probably try that out another day. I have been wanting to try this for a little while. It's illumination. Does it have SPF in it? I was hoping that it would. That's a shame. I'm surprised I bought that if it didn't have SPF in it, because I love this guy, which has SPF 50 in it, so I'll still have to double layer with this, which is fine. I'm going to try this out. I also got it in the blush as well, so I thought we could try that out. I also want to talk to you about an idea that I have. Lawrence hates Elf on the Shelf. I don't know why he dislikes it, but he really doesn't like it. He doesn't like everything that it like stands for or something. I don't know. I really don't know why he doesn't like it, but he hates it so much. I think it could be quite funny to do Elf on the Shelf with him. I'm not into, you know, like when there's some people who actively are like pass ag with their other halves. If their other half doesn't like something, they'll purposely do it. I don't want it to come across like that. I feel like these kind of jokes are always a little bit tricky because I've got a really bad scab there from a spot I have, so sorry if you're eyeing that up. And I don't want it to come across that that's what I'm aiming for here. I just want it to be a laugh and taking the mickey. So I hope that he'll get that joke. I feel like sometimes when it's jokes like that, it kind of depends on like what side of the bed you've woken up on. Hopefully you wouldn't be that annoyed about it. It's an elf, it's like not that deep, but I thought it'd be really funny if I got one. I don't even know where to get one. I'm guessing Dunelm. Dunelm seems like the kind of place that has one, or like Asda. I'm thinking of getting one and then each morning doing it to him. I just think there could be some really funny things, and like the first one we could do is in his office. What do you think? Is that a bad thing for me to do? If he actively doesn't like it, for me to go ha ha ha, I'm going to do this. Yeah, it could come across as light-hearted and funny, but it could also really annoy him. Like I say, I hope not. I hope that it's not that deep for him. But I just had that idea to do that. I thought that would be a fun little thing. And you guys can help me with ideas because I don't really do it. And also like my circle isn't really a mum circle. I've got a couple of friends that have kids, a couple of family members that have kids, but overall I don't really run in those kind of circles. So I don't see things that people post on Instagram of this. Obviously I could look on things like Pinterest and stuff like that, but I feel like some of you guys, you're so creative. You would have some amazing ideas of what we could do, especially like in his office. I kind of wonder if it would be a fun thing to do where every morning it's something in his studio. I've got a top that I'm quite excited by. Okay, so it's this one here. I have always wanted to try one of those like granddad collars, and this is really nice, but what's fun about it is there's this scarf that drapes around it. I'm really, really excited. So I'm gonna wear this with some black trousers and I think these M&S, oh, new shoes on the table, M&S flats. I feel like that's the look I'm gonna go for, and then I'm probably going to wear my APC bag for a pop of colour. This is the top here. I think it's so fun. The only thing, I just wish that was detachable because I really like the top without the scarf as well. The scarf's fun, it's a nice little touch. It feels a lot chicer and more expensive. I think it's only like 40 quid on H&M. It sells out pretty quickly. I had an alert on it and managed to nab one of the only ones left. Really love it. I think it's very chic, very fun. And then just like some old linen drawstring H&M trousers, M&S shoes. We'll go with this bag, and I think just a basic black coat. I actually just found this collarless Cosy coat. I forgot I had this because it was layered underneath one of my other coats. So this, with this, just to add a little bit of colour. I'm enjoying this, I think it's good. Guys, and it's a Freddie Flowers day, so we're gonna have a little look to see what's in it. Last night was so lovely. The wines at that place, actually I need to show you. The wines were so good last night. The food was also incredible too, but I really love when someone goes to town with wines. And Ollie, who is Mads, is like one of her best mates. I think he's even doing his sommelier course. He was in charge of all the wine pairings, and this is one of the orange wines that he paired with the main course, I think it was, which was like various tacos. This was fascinating. I actually asked Ollie, do you have a bottle that I can buy because I wanted to give it to Lawrence for a Christmas gift? He just said, just take a bottle, which is so kind. But then Lawrence was like, oh, you can't give that to me as a Christmas gift if you got it for free. If you got it for free. So if I bought it, apparently I could have given this to him, but I can't do it if it's...
No, I don't think you can do that.
I disagree. Like, it wouldn't have been like in, what's the word? Substitution for... Substitution? It wouldn't be in... What's the word?
Substitution is right. You just say it in a really weird American.
Oh, it wouldn't be in substitution for another gift. Substitution for another gift. It would be as an extra, but yeah, apparently I can't do that. Anyway, this was on the wines. If you know someone who wants to try out orange wines, this one was really interesting. It smelt like pineapple juice on the nose, but then when you drank it, very good characteristics of a skin contact orange wine. Quite funky, but not too... I feel like sometimes orange wines can be quite farmyardy, can't they? They can be... I like that too. I think that's a really nice flavour profile, but I feel like this one is just a little bit more like a dry apple juice, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you come across this in like a silly little wine shop and you like orange wine or you want to get it for someone, I would recommend. You can see here, this is something that I like to do with bottles. I forget to do it sometimes, but whenever we get a bottle of wine from a nice wine shop, or if they're recommended on Saturday Kitchen, they've paired it with a certain dish, I'll go buy the bottle of wine that they've suggested and I'll write in chalk pen on the bottle SK Saturday Kitchen and what they paired it with, and then it means that when I go into the wine fridge I know how meaningful the bottle is. So I wrote there, sip and dip event, what date was that? 28th of the 11th.
Crip and dip.
Well, she named it as sip and dip. So like her handles are crip and dip, but because it's sipping wine, you know, play on words? It's that. Freddie's Flowers Day, we have another beautiful little print. These are really nice to collect. Evocative and crisp skies, the sparkle of snow, morning mist. Wow, I've never actually read this. Morning mist meets candlelight with these soft, easy style stems. Whether it's a slow day inside, this is where my dyslexia really comes out. I'm sorry guys, I'm very bad at reading out loud. Whether it's a slow day inside or a weekend wrapped up, we've chosen blousy roses and rose lilies alongside seasonal hypericum. I'm glad you struggle with that as well. And glossy green foliage for the perfect balance of calming beauty and striking texture. It might also be the few wines I had last night not supporting with that reading. I asked this for a birthday present from Lawrence, and every other Friday I get a lovely box of flowers. How much was it? Do you remember?
£45.
A month?
Per delivery.
Per delivery. Which I think is a really nice gift, because I think you can also choose like a one-off or like 3 monthly. You can choose how many you want to do it, right? And I think this is a really nice Christmas gift option. I think for like a grandma or a mother-in-law, someone like you don't really know what to get them, I feel like the Freddie's Flower or Bloom Flowers, Bloom and Wild is a good Christmas option. Obviously it could be quite pricey, but even if you were to do it like 1 or 2 deliveries throughout the year, I don't know.
You could definitely do it cheaper if you just went to the supermarket.
You could, that's not the point.
No, the point is it gets delivered to someone's house, and these are really good quality. They last for 2 weeks.
That's what I was getting at, yeah.
And the uniqueness of the flowers is really good, and it means you don't forget. Like I could spend less than £45 and go and get you flowers every 2 weeks, but I will forget to do it, and they won't be very good.
Well, and also, we don't have any really good... Actually, you can tell us if anyone's in our area, in like Milton Keynes area, and there is any, but we don't have any good florists near to us. Like, ones where you could like just pick out some beautiful stems. We don't really have that near to us. And also, because of my job, I do all the food shops. So even there's a Morrison's near to us that has actually a really good one. But you're not going to go there because I do most of the food shopping because I know what I need to get for like recipe testing. I feel like if you don't live somewhere where nice flowers are an option and you want to get it for someone, it is good. But yeah, I feel like you would get me flowers if you had the need to. Like when you go to the supermarket, you'll come back with a bunch of flowers for me. Also, I personally would rather interesting, different flowers than a bunch of tulips. I'll always like a bunch of tulips, but you know what I mean. Like it's just nice to have something a little bit bougier, and they're beautiful. Normally they last a really long time, and actually the ones that we've got out, like they last for the whole 2 weeks. that we get for. But these ones that we've got on the go at the moment, I'll show you in a second, they are a little bit tired looking.
They're 2 weeks old.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like normally they're better after 2 weeks. These bits of green foliage, they'll still be fine. So I'll probably still take those bits off and use those in another arrangement.
You get really interesting flowers that you'd never get in a supermarket.
Agreed. Also, didn't mean this to be like a 5-minute feature talking about Freddie's flowers, but I always get more than one bunch out of them. So I've got at the moment 3 different arrangements, and by using the flower frog that I've shown before, okay, see you later, is this thing here. I'll link it below. You can get on Amazon. And again, a really good Christmas gift if you know someone who likes flowers. That really helps with doing sporadic, beautiful flower arrangements. I've talked about it before. I think we've even arranged one of these together before. Anyway, it's Freddie's Flowers Day, so I'm gonna actually just chuck all of these into one big vase at the moment and get all the other ones into the compost, because I need to pop out and do a few errands and stuff. So we can arrange these later when we get back. I came to the range. I went into Dunelm. They had no. Oh, I've come out to try and find an elf on the shelf. Dunelm had none, but I think I got the last one in the range. I wanted to actually get multiple because something I'm a little bit worried about is that Lawrence will destroy it. So I'm gonna still keep an eye out and try and buy multiple, because I have a feeling he's gonna sabotage this. But we've got one at least. It's actually quite cute. I like him. I popped into Poundland. I got a couple of spares because I'm almost certain he's going to try and sabotage this. And I thought, even if he doesn't and he plays along, which I really hope he does, I hope he finds it funny, because I feel like this would be a really fun thing for us all to get involved with. You guys can share some ideas with me as well. But even if he doesn't do as I expect and sabotage, we could use these as little friend introductions. There's an idea I saw on Pinterest that I am really excited to do. It really made me laugh, and these guys would be really useful with that. So secured 2 more just in case. Back home, Lawrence and I are going to do a little picky dinner. We've got loads of cheeses and jars of things that we want to use up. Do you want some wine?
You said words before that.
Yeah, the words I said before that were to them.
Oh, right.
And the words after were to you.
Kind of like a Negroni first.
You want a Negroni first? Okay, yeah. You can make your Negroni, because I'm not very good at making Negronis. I might open up. So I was sent some wines by this brand called Other. I'm pretty certain you can get this on Delli Market. Really nice natural wines, and I just think the branding of it is really cool as well. So they sent me some, and they actually also sent me a disposable camera. I don't know where. Oh, it's here. Disposable camera, because they asked if I could get some fun images of like drinking it in the various like scenarios that we're drinking it with for their socials. So that's quite a fun thing. So we'll open this up and start putting together our cheese board. I've not actually tried one of their reds before, so I don't know what it's going to be like. Lawrence and I both love a chilled red. What is it that you heard someone say once about chilled reds?
Death of rosé.
It's the death of rosé, which we really agree with. It's a very nice. I still love a rosé. I think there's always going to be a place for rosé, but I can see the concept of it if you're after something with a little bit more flavour than a white wine, but you want it to be cold. Chilled red. It's always like a really nice light red where it works. So Pinot Noirs are quite good. It doesn't have to be like one of these fancy ones from a wine shop. You could just do it with a really nice Pinot Noir, and I think it would work just as nicely. That's a nice one. I like that.
Is it French?
Shrivel. No, I don't think so. Oh, Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Imparting an earthy, savoury flavour with its fresh and juicy red wine. Left unfiltered, the embodiment of Quero Chapu's minimal intervention philosophy. Served chilled with slow lunches and loud dinners. I like that. Lawrence has also done a Negroni. How's this one? That's a nice vermouth.
This is a new one. I bought it mainly because of the bottle. They have a really good Instagram presence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like their Instagram handle, and I managed to get a bottle. You can't really buy it in this country. Well, you can, because I did, but
How did
it's
you buy
only
that?
just been available in the country. Like, you can't find this in like bars and things, but it's really good just over ice on its own. But I
It
thought I
does
would
just
try
say serve chilled on the back. That's nice.
I thought I'd try it in a Negroni. It's really herbal.
It's very herbal, actually, that. I don't normally like a Negroni because they're quite, I find them too bitter. So I like it when you do a Negroni when it's on like the sweeter side.
With Aperol instead.
With Aperol, okay.
I think it's because of this gin, Boyle's gin, and then I put this Berto Amaro in it instead of Campari.
Oh, okay.
And this is actually really light. Some vermouths like Martini Rosso will be really heavy, and I think this is letting that come through a bit more. But it's a nice balance.
You're very good with your Negronis.
Put some orange bits.
Yeah, I do feel like it needs to be lifted a little bit. That it feels a little bit too like one-dimensional.
These really good orange bitters as well, which I find if you don't, we don't have any fresh orange. I would normally put fresh orange in it. If you don't have any fresh orange, give it a stir.
Do you think we should just keep some like orange slices in the freezer for stuff like that though?
It doesn't really work.
Okay, fair enough. It's only 3 ingredients in a Negroni, so if I feel like a lot of this vlog has been me being like, if you want any gift ideas, but I don't know about you guys, I think because I've been doing my gift guides, I'm in that mindset of like gift giving. But I feel like everyone is thinking about gifts now. If you know someone that likes Negronis, find like a fancy vermouth. What's the second ingredient?
Well, that is called Amaro, and Campari is a really good example of an Amaro.
Fine, so you can get like a fancy
Amaro gin.
And like some nice glasses. That'd be a lovely gift. Especially if you were to find, like Lawrence says, like a nice fun one like this. You can reuse this bottle. I think that'd be really nice. That'd be a lovely gift. You'd like to receive that.
I've put a bottle of Campari on my Christmas list.
Do you know what we should probably go through in Vlogmas? Our Christmas lists.
Yeah.
List them out and say, because I feel like that's always really fascinating what people want on their Christmas list. So we'll do that in Vlogmas. Building out our little spread. Do you want to walk us through?
This is some venison salami that I bought in Edinburgh last week.
It was down on a lads weekend. It's for the rugby, right, that you were there?
Yeah.
From this thing. There was a good deli that you went to. Do you remember the name of it?
It's called Mellis, or Mellis.
How do you spell that?
Millis.
That one there. So if you're in Edinburgh and you want a nice little deli shop, because Lawrence also brought back all of these cheeses. What did you bring? So there's this.
Traditional Ayrshire Dunlop PGI. I asked him for things that were really Scottish. This is made by like one woman in Ayrshire, so you can't really get much more Scottish than that.
That's nice.
I guess. This one is called Old Reekie, unpasteurised cow's milk cheese, and then this one, I think that's smoked. One of them smoked, and then this is some blue cheese, Lanark Blue.
I couldn't resist getting this. This is from the Waitrose ad, the Sussex Charmer. This is a really nice cheddar, like really beautiful. I do like a cheddar, that we both like a cheddar that's got the little bits of salt crystals in them, and I don't know which one actually has that. I feel like a Dorset cheddar or something, but we like a really Somerset.
Yeah, they all have those. The good ones.
Then we got this one here. I got this at the market that we sometimes go to.
Wow, that's
This one here.
very yogurty, really young. I love cooking chorizo. Reminds me of when I was younger. My grandparents used to live in the south of Spain, and we went there every year on holiday, and this just brings me back to my childhood. Like, such a beautiful smell.
It is nice.
Really euphoric for me. So whenever I see it at supermarkets, I just buy it.
I feel like we should keep that oil there.
Good
Could do a fried egg in it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Salami, cheeses, trouts, just some sun-dried tomatoes, olives, artichokes. Oh, we have some crackers here as well, so we'll put some crackers out. Right, final spread here. Little piggy bits. A really lovely little Friday night spread. I'll sign off the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching another one. Tomorrow we start Vlogmas, so you'll actually see it on Tuesday on the 2nd, because I'll film everything on Monday and then put it live. I think I'm going to post at 5 p.m. each day. So stay tuned. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and then you'll be able to keep up with all the Vlogmas stuff. We'll see you in like 2 days' time. Bye.